It is like 8:22 on a Sunday morning. Gonna make some bread. I'm gonna use the recipe I've been using, which is a total of 730 grams, which is 365 and a half, 365 of wheat, 365 of white all-purpose unbleached, or whatever they call it. It's not bleached, right? I've been using the King Arthur brand. I've had good luck with it. I think this recipe is finally starting to evolve into what it should be. I have 570 grams of water. This is normally, I keep it in a jar on my counter here, so it's room temperature, so it's about 72. I wanted it a bit warmer, so I warmed it up. So now it's lukewarm. Now it's about my body temperature, so it's around 98 degrees, right around 100 maybe. I noticed that helps a little bit with the initial. This is the auto lease part, so this is not the part where I had the starter. That's the next part. So this is just getting my base ingredients mixed together. So 365 grams of wheat and white seem to work the best. I got some commentary from Zoe over here, my little one. She wants to start barking already. But I found that half and half mixture. I found the white, though just all wheat seems to work pretty well, but the white adds a little bit more texture, I guess. So keeping it half and half, I think, is the way to go for me. The interesting thing about all of this is that bread making has fundamentals, but a lot of the variables like flour and things of that nature are how you make the whole process unique. So I'm trying to get this, and then making sure the dogs don't run off acting all crazy. So now I have 365 of wheat, so I'm going to take the rest of this up to 730, giving me 365 of both. I thought it was funny that the number that I chose that fits the pan that I have ends up being 365. So that's a significant number. Not necessarily for anything other than it's more of a coincidence that it's the number of days in a year. So, and bread is part of the day now. So, got my white meat. I like to stir it up just a hair, just to get it started before I put my water in. And like this is also room temperature, so it feels cool, because it's like 72. But just mixing it together is this and the starter. The first two parts are the hardest parts of the whole process. Not necessarily hard, but time consuming. So let's take a look at this mixing. Crazy how quickly it turns like that. Almost seems like a magic trick. You just flip a switch and all of a sudden it's there. This feels very warm, which is nice. What you don't see off camera is I have my sous chef lady. But what she wants now, after she ate, is her WALK. I can't say it yet because then she'll be bugging me. You know how it goes. Alright, 4 minutes. See how it's changed? You just gotta fight that urge to put more flour. That's what I would always do. And I think when you start adding more flour, then you start drying it out, and then it just doesn't act as how you need it to be. It needs to be moist. It can't be too dry. So this is looking pretty good. Let it sit for a moment. Let's it kind of congeal more. So I'm going to put this in my bowl with a cover on it. So let me spray this with grease real quick. I used to use the vegetable oil. It's like a neutral flavor, so it doesn't affect anything. it's 8:38 in the morning. I'm gonna cover this, let it sit for an hour, and then work on my starter for the next step. But we're done with the first step, and you see how it's just glue. I gotta wash my hands now. All right, been an hour, adding my salt. I fed the starter around 13 hours ago. Smells really good, nice and big and fluffy. So to get some of this. All right, my dough's looking good. Feels good. Has a right odor to it. So I'm gonna go back in my greased pan. So just a matter of getting a good grip on it and moving with deliberate action. Swift and deliberate is always the key. And when you just get it to move, it's in here and it's already a little bit jiggly. That's what we want. We want that moisture to be to work in there, so that way when we get into the oven we rise good. So it's a little after 9:30. Gonna let it sit for an hour now that the starter's incorporated and the salt. And gonna let this sit, and then we'll work on the next step, which is our folds. So that's the next 3 hours. So in an hour I do my first fold and so on. It's been an hour. It's nice and moist. Alright, we're gonna leave it like that. I think we're in really good shape. So give it another hour and then we'll work on our next fold. Alright, that's the last fold. Everything looks really great. It's nice, and look how jiggly it is. It's real nice and full of fluid, full of air. So let it sit for an hour, and then we'll get into our shaping. I think we're in good shape.
Yes, the thoughts crossed my mind. I actually talked to my wife the night before. Quickly, any new listeners? My wife passed away at Disney World.
No,
Yeah.
not that word.
I'm sorry.
You said my wife passed away.
Freudian slip.
Yeah.
Insurance policy. My mother, when I was 5, died of a heart attack. And what's funny is that was with my friend.
Well, that's funny enough.
I mean, it's hilarious.
That's funny on top of it.
Yeah, the cherry on the sundae is we were walking. We took friends of ours and just making casual conversations. I know you grew up on the East Coast. Is Disney World as exciting to children? Was it as exciting to you and your family growing up as it is here? And I laughed and I said, "I'm sorry." Because what's so funny? I said, "Okay, I'm going to tell you something. You're going to feel horrible, and I'm going to tell you don't feel horrible. You've got no control over this question you just asked me." I said, just tell me you won't feel horrible when I tell the information. And he said, yeah. I said, I don't know, because my mom died there when I was 5. And so we never went back.
Well, this is, I gotta tell you,
Yeah.
this is a tribute to Disney marketing. That you've got back twice. Even you can't stay away from Disney.
Because he went to my kids.
What are we, God saying, I fucking hate Disney, I don't want that daughter to go to Disney. I'll kill his fucking mom right at Disneyland when he's in her arms. That'll stop her from going. Nope.
Just Walt laughing and smoking a cigar and blowing in God's face.
Told you he'd still go.
It's time to take the aluminum foil off and see what we got. Looks good. Smells really good today. I don't know. So that might be that drier starter. It has a really pleasant odor today. Okay, we got a good looking loaf. Nice and tall, grew considerable amount. So give it about 22 minutes or so and we should be good to go. Smells really good. It smells really good today. A good height on it. Get a slice of bread out of it. It's actually usable. Check that out. Looks good. You can't smell it, of course, but it's really nice. I think it's good. What is it, like 6:30 in the evening? Just let it cool. Let it needs to do what it do. Do what it do. Let it cool. Everything's good. Just time now, like everything else. One thing about this is when I started doing it this way, the bread is significantly lighter. It doesn't feel like as much as a weight. It still has heft to it, but it's definitely not heavy. So, this is the bread from yesterday. Let it sit overnight. Let's take a look. Good looking crumb. Everything looks the way it should. Good looking crumb. It's an actual slice of bread that you can actually use, and it's not too small. This one's small, but it's the end. Once you get to here, then it's good. But that's how it tastes. So the crumb looks really good. Smells right. I think the mixture, the half wheat, half all-purpose, really does work really well. And keeping it moist, I think it's like 76% hydration. Does help with its growth. Has nice healthy bubbles on the inside, or holes. They're bubbles, but then they turn into holes, you know. But yeah, really good, tasty, ready for the week.